Hey, I need to fix my intro. I accidentally, well, not accidentally, I cleaned up my structure of directories of files, and I think I did moved the file too many. I need to go back and look at the intro. But yeah, so today we're doing studies. Study Monday. Monday edges. Oh yeah. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. How's is my stream working, by the way? It seems to be working. Great. So the sign up will start soon. The programmer had investigated to see if we could do like a nested tree system on the website with the profiles, and it was too much work. So I'm gonna have to do all the pairing and so on manually. But the sign up is going to be code based. But yeah, the pairing and so on, that's I'm going to have to do it manually. Hey Amir, Nereda, Gria, Stonic, how's it going? Nereda, is it you who got a job at Creative Assembly, or is it another Nereda? Confused. That's great. One answer, yes, to a two-part question. Was it you who got hired, or is it another Nereda? Yes. Okay. Now we know. Thank you for it. It was you. Okay, cool. Congratulations. Is it your first in-house? Is it your first in-house gig? So today I found this amazing low-value soft edges, hard edges reference. A really beautiful, I think. So my idea is we should do this study, and we should do soft lost and found edges, because we can see like down here there's lots of lost edges, and here, and then there's some really sharp ones, and it's a really good reference for edges. So that's going to be cool. So if you're interested in doing this study, which I strongly recommend you do, apostrophe ref. It's a very awkward size though. I'm going to have to do it like this. Hey Freshy, how's it going? And I can gladly inform you that the kickoff trailer is strongly moving forward with the help of Fight Milk. It's looking really cool. I'm going to start putting it together soon, I think. As soon as I'm done with all the slides, I'm going to start like assembling them. Hey Stig, how's it going? But anyways, that's some cool stuff. We're moving forward. So Nereda, Amir, yeah, the reference is a beautiful reference. So Nereda, you work for them for as a freelancer. Um, how did you get the gig? Did you apply, or were you asked? I think I'll use a big old soft brush to start with. This is gonna be a fun study. Hey Mel. Oh, you had a portfolio review with them at THU. That's cool. That's cool. And they invited you to work. That's great. That's a good proof that going to workshops and showcasing your work definitely pays off. People pay attention. That's how you do it. You were sitting for 3 hours, picking everything in my portfolio and drinking cider. Oh, you had a extended one-on-one. So it wasn't at the portfolio review, but it was actually you caught them unaware. Nereda is a really good artist. I like Nereda stuff. Very game orientated. I'm trying not to jump ahead too fast on this one. I'm trying to find the proportions. Froax THU is Trojan horse was a unicorn, which is like a art workshop, kind of large scale art workshop. It's a big show, more or less. It was for the last 2 years in Malta. This year, apparently, they are not going to be in Malta. They're going to be somewhere else. It used to be every day or every year in Troy, but they moved, and I guess they're moving again. And they're going to have a Japanese edition as well this year. But it's a big art workshop with a lot of big names. They tend to put a lot of effort and money into the kind of showmanship of the workshop, rather than the kind of, they're not really like heavy in the technical stuff, like technical breakdowns and so on. It's a lot more show and tell and a lot more fanfare and you know, like Oscars, you know, not really Oscars. Oh, Gria being so kind to share a sub to Froax. Oh. Nereda, you can post a link. Just make sure it's safe for work. I don't have any limitation on links in terms of like you can post, but make sure it's safe, you know, out of respect for the other people. Oh, it's a nipple on one of the thumbnails. It's okay. Some nipplage is not that bad. There's not even a nipple, just some cleavage. I mean, that's safe. Oh yeah, there's one. Oh, but it's not that bad. That's pretty respectable. Yeah, it's a devil's playground. Haven't you heard? The areola. Scary business, yeah, definitely. Nipplage. The word of nipplage shalt be used in public. Yeah. But yeah, so that's really cool, and I think I'm really happy for you, Nereda. It's good. Who was your point of contact with Creative Assembly? Who was the one inviting you to work with them? Kevin or Console? Or I guess you're gonna be on the Total War side of things, I assume. Oh, you're talking to Kevin. That's cool. He's a good guy. So it's Total War then. Froax. No, I don't have touchscreen. I have the version before the touch screen came out. And besides, I wouldn't use the touchscreen if I had it. I use way more keyboard shortcuts than touchscreen. Man, this riff is fascinating. The more you look, the more layers of information you see. It's really, I'm happy I found it. And it's a great way to have a look at like sharpen or lost and found edges. French are rumors of Isolation 2? No. I can promise you there's no Alien Isolation 2. Unless Fox have done something dramatically different and out of the question. But Alien license and Fox, they only have a X amount of licenses from the owners of the IP. And I think Colonial Marines and so on, they were mediocre successes. So I think, as far as I remember, Alien Isolation was on the last kind of last contract of exploring Alien franchise for that time. I mean, Creative Assembly might have like made a deal for another key, you know, like a allowance from the IP holders, but I doubt it. But what Creative Assembly have announced though is that they're working on a shooter. You can see it like for the console. Their ads for the console department is like a science fiction gun. Hey Sharsa, how's it going? Yeah, Nareda, you do fantastic stuff. No, let's increase. Yeah, I must say that a lot of you, you're very, you have your head screwed on correctly. There's a lot of memeing going on a lot of other servers, and I can't take it. I just walk away. I just close the door slowly, not saying a word, just nodding it. Okay, all right, you do you. Luckily, happily, happy that our community here is quite sound. I mean, I like memes too. I mean, I like memes like the next guy, but like I always remember like one thing my dad told me when I was like making fun all the time and so on. He was like, "Yeah, it was fun one time, but shut up." My father was a loving man. But yeah, I have the feeling of the same with memes. It's like, yeah, okay, all right, it was fun for a while, but come on, what more do you got? Oh, Miguel, you're working on your next course, CGMA course. That's great. Congratulations, man. And on that topic, I asked Tad about my talk, and they have recorded it and they're looking for it, so I'm gonna get it at some point. Ricky, the naked guy running into the glass. Man, that's a classic. I mean, you can't go wrong with a classic. But if you do that classic one every day, it's going to be like, all right, okay, boring. That's why I don't do it more anymore. Because I don't want to, you know, kill it. I want to cherish it. I want to still be able to have fun with it next time I see it, you know. Sharsa, yeah. I mean, it can be fun. I mean, I do like memes or funny things, you know. But like I said, it can run rather become boring rather fast. When if it's just that, like meme this, meme that, like there's zero conversation, zero thought. It's just more or less shit posting, but without the confrontation. For me, I can live without that. No, yeah. So back to that my talk. Yeah, that they found it and they're looking for it and they're gonna send it to me. So I'm thinking of having that as my first Gumroad. Or just releasing it for free. Screw it. Frogs, you're thinking about doing a basic drawing course? That's pretty cool. You do that. Can't be bad. Frogs, maybe you can do the Bjorn as your minor. I mean, that would be cool. That would be a feather in my hat. It's like art competition where the people do art projects as their minor. But I mean, Frogs, if you do it as your minor, then you'd like, what if you get kicked out round one? Then you're stuck with it, not even a project. Then what? I doubt they would allow for that risk. Frogs. I won. They're like, oh, really? Yes. Okay, let's try this. No, just put it to lighter color. I want to give it some of that deepness. That's better. This sense of haze that's in the original. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. Where's that scatter brush? Where? Oh. Gria. On a more serious note, so you're thinking about line sketch first? Yeah, I mean, this difference here with me, right, is you might have not noticed, but it's the way I constructed the image that the study is, not so much the final product. Because the way I constructed the image is that I'm going from soft to sharp, big brush to small brush, and starting to, the further or the longer I spend on the image, the kind of sharper I am going and more defined I am going. And I'm trying really, really hard not to over define areas. So the study is not to get it accurate, but it is the construction of the image that the study I'm paying attention to in terms of study. So if you want to replicate this image, do that. I mean, definitely measure. There is Permia said something that was very valid on the server. I don't remember to who. I think it was to Stonic or Froax. Is in all like learn from reference instead of just blindly copying. But if you're going to copy, learn to copy correctly. You know, I'm paraphrasing her here, but the idea is, you know, like if you're going to do a study of a copy, learn how to do a study correctly, where you measure, where you don't rush the subject, where you make sure that the shapes are correct before you move forward to the next step, and so on and so on. If you want to replicate it correctly, make sure that you practice replicating it. Or because that skill set of learning how to copy a reference perfectly is a skill set of itself, right? That's a skill everyone should more or less have, because it's a great observational skill to have, and this kind of mechanical study. That's why they always put you on still life at the beginning, because it's one of the most common and most valuable skills to have, to be able to see and replicate. See, you know, like when you do life drawing, one of the golden rules of life drawing is like look at the subject 2/3, then 1/3 draw. Then look at the subject for 2/3 and then 1/3 draw. Like so you fully observe and be conscious about your next move, understand the angle and understand the shape, etc., etc. Then you draw it, and then you observe again, and then you correct, and then rather than just go, wow, look at the paper and not even look up. Because you can see a lot of people make that mistake at the beginning of life drawing as well, is that they spend more time looking at their drawing than looking at what they're drawing. And that's a big, big no-no. The purpose is to observe and learn and analyze, and then apply, and then rinse, repeat, right? If you just want to look at your drawing and your paper, go home, you know. Hey Mila, welcome back. Hey Kevin, how's it going? Hey Kraskar, how is it going? The original image, it is from Facebook group called Colorful Space. It's like Korean, so I don't know the text. I just look at the cool photos. They do a lot of like romantic and experimental photos. Some nudity, so those I can't really show, but they're very artsy. And sometimes they don't have the name attached to the photo. So in this case, it wasn't available. That's why it says N-A, not available. Stonic, yeah, if you move ahead too fast, you shouldn't rush. French, yeah. Yeah. I think it's a matter of basic understanding what you got to do next. Like if you're going to do color, obviously you shouldn't start with accents first. You should lay down a foundation, and then the foundation depends on style and personal preference of where you want to go. But traditionally, you tend to do an underdrawing or an underpaint, like set the tone of the temperature, and then you start applying colors and so on. I mean, some people do it completely different, and that's also. But there's always a difference in between artists. But the thing that they all share is fundamentals and understanding of the fundamentals. How to treat the colors, how to or when to add more details, when to blur an edge, or then there's always this difference in style, but they all share the same principle of understanding of the fundamentals. That's kind of like the tricky part, right? We all study to learn better, and then at some point you're going to reverse learn all the things you've picked up to fit where you are going. So you're like deliberately ignoring certain things because it doesn't serve you as a purpose, but you have to understand them in order to understand which to ignore and which to implement. So it's like a weird give and take. Is that the author of the photo, Slibo? All right, cool. That's great. Thanks for the data mining, Slibo. I will add that directly. There you go. Information added. IG at Ibayevacevedo. There we go. Good stuff. Thanks. Gria, yeah, absolutely. Why not? Sounds good. All right, that's the study for today. A lot of soft edges. Pretty fun study. A little bit weird, but it was a great observational practice. French. I mean, for me, the only way I learn is to break it down, analyze, and apply. Right. So if you're doing a study that you think you're too far, you're not skilled enough. Figure out what you're not skilled enough in, and then do a study in that, so that you can progress in the overall picture. Like for me, I knew for a long time my thing that held me back was too stylized anatomy. It was at one point, probably is still. I used to do line art too much, so I added silhouettes to everything, even when I rendered. I added like a outline to things almost is irrelevant to light source, like a shadow somewhere. It's like, no, it's not even, shouldn't be a shadow there, but I wanted to add it because it popped the character, and that's like a direction I didn't want to go. All these things, and I had to go and study them differently and practice them, so that when I did my autopilot stuff, I remembered, all right, follow the light source. Still one of the notes in my sketchbook. Make sure there's a character. Don't over stylize the anatomy. All right, okay, let's go. But you gotta know where you're going, and know what have a vague understanding of the steps to go there. Understand where you are, where you want to go, and what's the gap to get here. Is it mileage? Is it understanding of color? Is it fidelity? What deep, like, lack of perspective, no mood? What is it that makes yours not where you are, where you want to be? And then start understanding, okay, I don't understand atmospheric perspective, right? That's missing in my art. That's where I want to go. I can see it. That's where my work want to be, but I am here. And then you go and either understand what atmospheric perspective is, or do studies about it, or the technical research about physics and why color change through the particles of air, atmosphere. Whatever floats your boat. To go outside and do a la prima on sunrise, sunset, foggy day, shiny day. Learn that way. It's all etchings. It doesn't matter. It's about understanding where you want to go and where you are, and analyze the gap in between, how to patch it. Anyways, rant is over. Let's raid Max. He's doing some cool stuff. Frenchy. Hi. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Happy Monday. Good night if you're that part of the world. See you tomorrow, where we're gonna do. I want to draw something from an IP I came up with over the weekend. We'll see. Maybe I won't. Maybe we'll do some monster stuff. I don't know. Anyways, we're gonna raid. Have a good one. See you tomorrow. Toodles.